Alrighty, finally getting around to some defo. I already did this fight once, and you guys might see that if this doesn't go through, but I just realized King actually got his Force Enhanced 50, and I was like, you know what? I have a bunch of enhancement points, so I was like, you know what? Let's just dump 50 on King real quick, and let's see how far we could take him. I'm kind of actually curious to see how far FE character or FE50 characters could actually go. Like if they don't have FR, they don't have BT or anything like that. I didn't actually get Fusoya's BT on his banner. I already had his FR, and I didn't want to go too ham on any of the banners. Like Papalimo does some really good damage now, but like the way he turn hogs, I'm not a super big fan of it, just because he doesn't actually actually here I think it's been a while since I played King. I think you have to break first, or you want to break first, so that way when you do this, yeah, you get the re-break, and then you just give yourself more turns. It's been a little bit since I played King, actually. It's been like, when he got his LD, I think his LD debut, I think that's when I played him, and I think you press AA, and then you just like spam double bullets, and then EX whenever it comes up. And I remember like the big issue with King really was just, there's a lot of maintenance to his kit. Like it's very, you have to upkeep a lot of different things, and it just gets super annoying to really upkeep everything. Like, you have to do LD to maintain double bullet, and then you have to go ahead and, what else do you have to do? It's like double bullet, and then you have to and then when you're low on bullets, you have to reload. And by the time you have to reload, you have to reapply that. So it's a very, there's a lot going on with this kit. At the time, his LD damage wasn't that bad, but he was also the last LD. And we did just come into the FR Echo era, so he was kind of really late to the party. So, a little unfortunate, but it's fine. Like, I did use him a lot in Type 0. Like, he actually ended up being, like, one of the better characters in that game for me. And here it's gonna... Speaking of Type 0, Kurosame. And Kurosame, I don't actually think was playable unless he, like, brought him on one of those, like, weird, what was that called? Like, when you had reinforcements for that? It's been too long since I played that game. I should probably replay it eventually. I only did the first playthrough, and I think there's more stuff on New Game. So here, what do I do with Fujin? Do I just press AA? I don't want to take that many more turns with her, just because I think she does have high turn rate on some shit. And I do need to get paralysis on these guys soon, or else they're just going to wipe me. So I think I'm just going to LD. And I do believe King also has some pretty high turn rate on his skills, if I remember correctly. I think it's like instant turn on break. And that's also another weird thing. You would think, him being like a pseudo turn hogger with the breaks and stuff, you would think double bullet would give re-break, but it actually doesn't. It's kind of weird. Okay, he didn't move up there. I do believe that is a high turn rate skill, double bullet. And that's just like 6 HP attacks, which at the time was actually pretty high. But, we're at the, 1.9 million. That's not terrible. Like, I've seen worse. But it's definitely, these days, like, especially if you've seen the Papalimo showcase now that he just debuted. Oh man, the Papalimo's damage is ridiculous. And I think here... Yeah, actually, let's go into burst phase with Fujin. Just because, oh yeah, we already have the free skill up too, perfect. This is Metsu. Yeah, because we're gonna want to... We're gonna want to spread out these turns fairly evenly, just so I can actually see how much output King is actually doing. Because I feel like it's not gonna be all that much, because it's a fucking old character. What do you expect? And I think the free skill comes from LD. But it is like one of those things where it's like I think FE50 is designed so you just bring these characters that you would consider not the best these days. Definitely need a rework. I don't know where their rework is. The what's her face, Fujin here doing much more damage already just on her regular base kit, not really doing anything special. But Fujin these days is pretty cracked. Yeah, they're doing double bullet damage and more so on the splash. Yeah, King these days, not the best, but I want to see if he could actually get this Shinryu done. I already did it once with... It ended up being, like, my first clear of this actually ended up being an accidental Final Fantasy IV run. Because I ended up bringing Golbez, Rosa, and Fusoya. And Fusoya is mostly just here for the ticket mission. I didn't actually really intend for that FF4 theme to happen. But if this doesn't go live, you'll probably see that instead. But this is just out of curiosity where I'm like, I want to see how FE50 actually affects these older characters. Because I've been, well, you know, mostly just bringing the full FE50 team of the updated characters, you know. So characters like Golbez, or not Golbez, Golbez doesn't have his FE50 yet. Just characters that are, you know, the most recent rework. But I think the fun is probably in bringing these old characters to see how far they could actually go. Because I think with the Golbez fight, or with the fight earlier that I did the run with Golbez, that fight, this fight didn't put up a lot of resistance, like it barely did anything. Yeah, see, they'll try and instant kill you here, like Malice Sword's not that crazy. And I had a brand call on, so I think, you know, their damage wasn't that high anyway. Yeah. Actually, I think that's like the perfect amount of debuffs too. Oh wow, it's like this was set up perfectly, because now I could just break B. Yeah, and the high turn rate, like the turn rate ends up looking a little funky. And I want to see how high double bullets actually goes. Who's at far is better? I think it's probably going to end up being... Oh, and if I do remember correctly, I do think... Yeah, we get that from Endless Vault. Yeah, let's talk more action. And I do believe King's EX button is actually his hardest hitting button. Just because it's like 7 HP dumps or some shit. And I remember at the time that was actually pretty high. Like, it's still not that bad. It's just that, you know, when it comes down to, like, you know, 3 million on that, it's not terrible, you know? Like, I've definitely seen worse. It's like, for sure. Yeah, I think for sure we need to go for... Oh, I should have maxed out Kurosame's, Hyoro. Oh, whatever, it's fine. Yeah, because, and it's also kind of fun, too, because now that I think about it, I only brought one BT character in Fujin. I did think about Fusoya's BT, but I ended up against it. Just because, you know, I only have like 200k gems or something like that. And I am going to pull for Deuce later this month with gems. I'm just going to hard gem. Because I do have, I did just get maxed out on what are they called? BT tokens. And I'm not too sure who I'm actually going to use that on just yet. And they're reducing our damage by quite a bit with this red aura. Luckily, we are still capping on quite a bit of our damage just because Fusoya, you know, him with the Brave Gain with his Bless buff is coming clutch. See, and here we'll just double bullet. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, and let's see how much did that do. 7 million, you know? That's not... It's not the worst. I think, oh yeah, this is the problem with King's Kit. You have to like press reload, and you know, that takes up a turn. And I think we're already getting kind of low on the buff that gives him that double bullet. 6 million single target. Like, he's definitely, it's starting to come back to me where he's a single target specialist for the most part. Let's see, REX. Oh, REX isn't up yet. Yeah, he would definitely appreciate the Black Crystal passive that just randomly charges EX. Like, I think that'll be actually pretty good on him. Bugoosh. 12 million. Alright, now it should be Fusoya. What's about to fall off? It's probably Bless, actually. Yeah, I actually do need to get that on because that's actually pretty important for our damage for this fight right now. Because they still have the red aura on. And Fusoya is, like, that's what actually makes him really good as a support unit. It's just having the Brave Gain in between hits based on your eye Brave. And here I think we'll just go ahead and get Hyo one more. Do we save the Hyo? Nah. Let's just go for it. I think we just want to do our best to max out the gauge. Because now that we have the FE50, that's going to be at its highest if we actually max it out. So we want to make sure this is 999. So that means actually, you know, counterintuitive to what King wants to do. We want to actually have him not take that many more turns. And I think this is actually perfectly fine. Just because they are going to take more turns. And if that red aura gets dispelled, that means our damage is going to come back. Bagoosh. 20 million. That's probably the most I've ever seen King do. Not gonna lie. And we do have one more Omni Blast. So we're just gonna keep them paralyzed. And actually keeping them paralyzed is super important. just because if they take a turn while that red aura is up, you know, 5 million, 4 million, King's outputting more than the recently reworked character. Yeah, and that red aura, as you can see, is mitigating our damage quite a bit. Dissipated. Perfect. Alright, so here we just play like normal, I guess. It's been a while since I've had to just, oh wow, big lag spike there. Wow, are they not getting broken? Sheesh. They are tanky. 31 million. Okay, there you go. There's our damage. And I do need to focus on B here. How many more turns do we have left of rock and roll? Only 3? Yeah, that's like the big issue I found with King is just some of his skills are definitely, you know, a little too much upkeep for my liking. But we are getting the enhanced damage from Fujin's wall, or from her Fujin's BT effect as well. 30 million on double bullet. And it was like 5 million splash or something. You know, so definitely, I was expecting worse. And it definitely would look worse just because we are technically already out of FR time. Or already out of FRs to activate. But we do have, you know, the prolonged HP damage bonus. So it's not, you know, it doesn't look as bad as it actually seems. Watcher of the Slumber. I do believe that's his LB. And that's just going to extend... that's just going to extend our stuff too. So that's actually not a big deal. And I think now we actually want to summon. Just so we could actually get the most amount of turns. 31 million. Hey, see, King's keeping up with his double bullet. He's keeping up with Fusoya's LD damage. Granted, Fusoya did a lot more AoE. But I guess this is what they really wanted for the FE50, just in general. Maybe I should have done this earlier, because I forget, you actually get like a Hellfire buff or something from this summon. Oh, 40 million, sheesh. Maybe I should have procced that earlier. And now you see, like, normally this is where it'd be a run-ender. It's like, oh man, we only got them to 16, 18%, and you know, your HP damage bonus would be gone. But now we actually don't have to worry about that. Because the HP damage, we're still going to be getting some decent damage. So that's probably where the fun is, in all honesty. We keep bringing like these, or I keep bringing like, you know, the updated units, the meta characters and stuff. Really, I think the fun's gonna be like in who gets the Force Enhanced 50. Yeah, what's that one turn buff? Hellfire. Yeah, this is what this is. Maybe I should have done this earlier. I definitely should have done this earlier. Ah, whatever, it's fine. Let's see Endless Waltz. Because this probably would have been cracked if I had that Hellfire buff on. Yeah, because normally this would be like a dead run because you'd be out of FRs, and then, you know, you'd just be slogging and you'd eventually lose. And that was 15 million? Not too bad. Huh. I guess it is doable with FE50. I think the fun, I'm robbing myself of the fun by bringing all the updated units and stuff. I think the fun is actually going to be in who gets the FE50. Yeah, 14 million, you know, slowly but surely, you know, you end up just doing a lot of damage. You know, I believe this is the AoE attack. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we're having a harder time actually doing bravery damage. But I think this should be the end of the fight. If we... Is this a... You know what we can do? We can reload. Come on, King. Bring it home. Bring it home. Actually, I don't know if Fujin has any more turns of her BT effect up. Yeah, because that BT effect is probably doing a lot more work than I'm giving it credit for. Fujin's just a nut. She's so good. So that's the strat, boys, to bring these outdated units, you know, the last LD unit. You just have to FE50 them when they come out. No big deal. And you bring them to modern Shinryu. Granted, these Shinryus, you know, aren't really hard. And this is pretty indicative of that, I think. Like, you can definitely tell that fight didn't really offer that much in terms of mechanics. And I guess for fights like that, you can kind of just bring whoever. And yeah, that's King, FE50, not too bad. I could say I brought King to modern Shinryu. With, yeah, that Ultima 5 weapon gun was actually for Balthier, but you know what, whatever, it's fine. Take it easy. King, let's go.